You're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
It's one medicine that they put me on one time that I stopped biting my nails.
Yeah.
Because my granddaughter keeps painting them, and I just don't bite them for whatever reason, even though I do out of habit all the time. They're getting long as shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
Cool.
this has been my entire life. So I need to paint my nails.
Oh
my God.
Yeah,
I bite my nails all the time.
Yeah, I keep mine intentionally.
Hey, I have some Dollar Tree nail polish, and we do have an Asian lady. Just saying, this party could get weird.
You have a lot to color?
Hello, welcome.
I really was going to go like, who's Asian? What are you talking about?
I actually was thinking that too, but I was like, I don't want to. I knew I would figure it out eventually, so I stayed quiet.
Who's brown?
We got 2 shades of brown.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jenny. I forgot
Come
what
on,
color
Jenny.
you were.
Get on a mic and give us your nail salon voice.
Oh, honey, here, I go do your nails. So you pick up handsome man, huh?
I'm sold.
For the listener, she is Asian, so it's completely okay to do that.
What's funny is when she talks on the phone with her mom, she starts picking up that accent. I make fun of her the whole time.
Yes, our nail ladies at Queen Nails by Mindy. A lot of fun. I think they're Vietnamese. Anyway, we're here with everybody. It's Tracy's birthday weekend. Chaille Tracy, Olivia Grace, Chad Shank, Charlie the Intern, i.e. Chuck or a.k.a. Chuck, depending on what you like. Tracy, Javelina, Julie C. Bubbles is here. Yeah. And I don't know where to start. I guess Caesar's Palace. We could start there. Or we could, what's your uncle's name?
Randy.
Randy.
Well, he doesn't really have a name anymore. I mean, you know, do you have a name if you can't answer to it?
I don't know how much we filled people in last podcast about Uncle Randy.
Yeah, I found out some other things when I was visiting him. He was on hospice care and supposed to go like a week, and then he went about 12 after that. And he was talking to me, and he was telling me one of the things he wanted to do was come and podcast because he's got a bunch of stories. And when he listened to the podcast, he wanted to come. And I told him, I go, well, sometime we'll set it up. And we never got around to it.
I just want to preface this with last night, Chaille and Tracy were up in Phoenix for her birthday weekend getting fucking plowed. So I did a mass text to Charlie the Intern and Chad, the 3 cheeses I call you, Chad, Charlie, Chaille. 3 cheese dip. And Chad, at some point, we're all going back and forth hammered in the middle of the night about delaying this podcast till as late as possible because I knew everyone's going to be in rough shape. And then Chad chimes in with, hey, can you guys fucking let me sleep for God's sakes? And then I said something smart fuck you back like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go to bed with my phone on next to me and keep being annoyed. And Chad comes back, my uncle's fucking dying. I have to wait for a text to see if he's hoping he's dead.
I was supposed to start night shift next week, so it worked out well for me that I got the phone call this morning. Worked out well for him. I'm not being that. He was an irreverent fellow himself, but he's been in rough shape for several weeks. My family is good intentioned, but they're not well read.
There's one more thing. After you did that, Charlie the Intern fucking chimes in with one more tweet after because he didn't have your number. No. He thought we were fucking with Julie C.
Yeah, I thought we were fucking with the Hollywood person, and I was like, fuck him, like, dude, like, I was like, well,
he blanched today when he found out it was you. Oh my God, fuck. We were both kind of scared of the mood you were going to be in when you got here for fucking with you.
The thing was funny was you guys took it. I was awake whenever I wasn't even sleeping, so I was just being a smart ass because you guys were fucking drunk texting dumb shit over and over at 1 a.m. So I'm like, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. And I wasn't. I was awake. So.
Well, once he invoked the dying uncle, and he was dead by morning.
Yeah, morning. He finally went, but I forgot what it was.
Stories.
Okay, I was going to tell you. He was telling me just a couple of times when I was visiting him. He was telling me how much he liked Bisbee, and he used to run around with Bisbee a lot when he was younger. And he goes, I remember he's telling me about a trip to Mexico he made with Electric Dave. And I'm going, we podcasted with Electric Dave kind of about some of his trips to Mexico. That's fucking pretty cool. So I didn't know that, that about him. So I do wish we would have had him on the podcast before he died. That's after he'd be boring. But
I'm assuming it's the same uncle you've talked about for a long time, saying he'd be great on the podcast.
He's my favorite uncle. He's crazy just to fucking live. He was on the porch. We're sitting there, and he fucking just looked up at me, all fucking 97 pounds of him, and grinned. He was like, I went real hard for a long time, Chad. I think I'm getting away with some shit. I was like, you're all right. So he's a good party fucking dude. But my family has like the best of intentions, but they're not. They didn't understand hospice as well. They were as rigid with the medicines as the hospital would be, and I kept trying to explain to them like, no, that's what hospice is. You can just let him, So after he kept going, Jenny goes, you're going to have to come down here and help out. And I go, all right, I'll come down and do the night shift next week. And so I was doing the feeding tube with him. And he goes, what are you doing? And I go, I'm training to be one of your nurses. I'm going to come down here and do the night shift next week. And his eyes got all big, and he looked at his sister, and he goes, Chad's going to be in charge of the meds? So then I talked to my dad, and I think he started getting a little more liberal with the meds. They were doing things like somebody told them that they read on the internet that dog dewormer kills cancer. So they were mixing up dog dewormer and putting it in his feeding tube with his food, and I'm like, I go, look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I think it's fucking stupid. You've done no research on this. It's as dumb as putting frog spit on your butthole or whatever Charlie does. And I go, but he's dying. So I go, it makes no fucking difference at all. I go, at the very least, he won't have worms.
Wasn't it Kenny that flipped out when we gave him some, dog antibiotic? I forget why, but he went complete conniption fit. Anyway, sorry, that just came to mind.
It was just those types of things, I was frustrating because they were, they meant well, but they're just, he wanted to hit feeding tube, and he said he could taste the food, going in, so he wanted strawberry boost to go into his feeding tube, and they're like, you can't fucking taste shit going into your feeding tube. But he wanted it, and so they're like, we're out of strawberry. So whenever we went to the store, we bought a thing of strawberry boost, so, whatever the fuck you want. The hospice lady came in. She goes, if he wants a beer, give him a beer. It's the end of his life. So I come back, and we have boost and strawberry boost for him. We go, hey, we got him some. Oh, no, we don't want him to have sugar. What? Are you fucking shitting me? Stop it. So it was interesting. I thought I was going to have to go down there and let him chew on the fentanyl patches, which is what I told him that I was going to do too, and he thought that was funny. But, the other funny thing that happened while I was there was...
Wait, didn't you say the fentanyl patches wouldn't work?
He was too skinny. He didn't have any...
meat,
any fat. Yeah, there's nothing to absorb it. But if you can chew on those motherfuckers, they'll still work. I wrote down a few things that I was going to say that I thought were fucking funny. So the last one is, I was getting frustrated. My dad's wife, I hate her. Like, there's not a secret. I won't go to his house. She's a fucking cunt. And a lot of people hate her. And she was a bitch to my uncle, and he fucking didn't like her. And then when he's there dying, she's all of a sudden all over. I can't get a second with him because she's there caressing his face, and she stinking the whole fucking place up with patchouli. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, I can't say, I'm at my aunt's house and he's on hospice. I can't say shit. Like, she's just trying to be comforting, but she's a fucking cunt. So I was completely frustrated until all of a sudden I hear my uncle just whisper to her, "Why are you here?" And I fucking loved it. I was like, oh, fuck, yes, finally somebody. There's one person here that can say something, and he fucking spoke up from his deathbed, so I appreciated it. So, so long, Uncle Randy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Uncle Randy.
Go, go, go. That's all I said after
Go,
I
go,
heard he
go.
went. Go, go, go. Fucking, I don't know where the fuck you're going. Good dude.
Cheers, Uncle Randy.
Oh, I was lifting my glass for Tracy now that I drank the end of it for Uncle Randy. I'm passing the torch.
Some strawberry boost. I'll drink it.
Chaille, how was your night?
It's good. We went out to.
Are we just 4 mic'd?
Yeah, I forgot to bring the extra mic.
All right.
I brought everything except the mic. I brought all the cables and everything for it. I just didn't. We ran out of there.
Miss Pat in Phoenix?
Well, Miss Pat was a surprise. We went to go see Adam Kahn over at a place called CB Live. It's not a venue. And I got to tell you, man, I like just going to shows just to see how they're run, And for a venue that we've walked into shows like this before, it's a rock and roll club or it's a higher end Scottsdale type thing. They fucking had their shit together, man. It was good. It was a packed house, seated where you don't know who you're sitting at the table with. That's the hardest thing. You don't ever do this, Doug, but when you go to and you sit across from another couple and you don't know them,
yeah,
there's that you're eating and they already ate, so now you're eating in front of them, and then oh yeah, well, we're from Bisbee, and it's so weird. That's
it's
the
awful.
only thing.
Yeah, it's awful.
Like,
that's like the train.
I'd rather stand up in the back than sit up in a good seat and then have to chit chat, because then we got.
That's what happened at that Chris Bodie concert, where no, you have to sit in the seats they gave you. Yeah. Well, it's empty in the back. Why would you make me sit in what you call good seats? Because I'm gonna, fucking awkward.
Yeah, but the show was great, and I met two good Phoenix comics that if we want to put a show together down for Chuckleheads, get some local stuff, like we're doing with the Tucson ones. So yeah, it was fun, and then. We knew Miss Pat was over at the other comic. That's
what I was getting to, because Miss Pat, I get the I don't know if you texted me or tweeted me. I was a little pickled last night, but it was the tweet. Yeah, it was the picture of you with Miss Pat.
Tracy and Miss Pat.
Yeah, Tracy and she said, I told her that we're friends, but I don't think she believes me. So then I tweeted the picture so you could prove it to her.
Well, Tracy doesn't like anyone to know it's her birthday, so everyone found out it was her birthday. I mean, Tracy, I won't do that. Hey, Uber driver, it's her birthday. Miss Pat, hey, it's her birthday. Adam Conover, hey, it's her birthday. It was so fucking funny. So irritated with it, but at the same time, we had a fun time.
That's great.
I found out this morning she doesn't remember going home from meeting Miss Pat. And I go, then I guess you don't remember getting in the elevator and going, whoa, let's call it a Lyft and go over and get In-N-Out burger fries right now. She goes, we ate fries? I go, wow. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, it was fun.
There's no one I like to see pickled more than Tracy. Because usually you can't tell. And when you can't tell, oh my God, she's having a great time.
Yeah. When I saw that picture that you tweeted of her and Miss Pat, whenever I saw it just this morning, I showed Jenny and I go, look, Tracy was drunk. Just from looking at the picture.
Oh, yeah. This morning, she was drunk.
That's what she said.
It was halfway back here to the HomeStretch house that she's like, well, all right, now the hangover's going to start. We'd already had a meal. We went to IKEA and picked up a couple things, and she's still drunk. So, yeah, it was good.
Good night.
Oh, and Miss Pat says hello. She said, I love Doug. I love Doug.
Did she hang out at all?
No.
Yeah.
She did the show, and then I was just telling these guys. We met her, and I told her the story of we loved that she read the book, and we didn't know for 5 chapters what Looker House was until it clicked, and then we all realized none of us knew for 5 chapters that it was Liquor House. And then
you told her that?
Yeah. Then we took a picture, and we sat down, and then she comes to the bar to get a drink or something and sits down. It show's over. Everything's people are counting tips and shit. And she sat there like she never even met us.
Yeah, you're not remarkable.
No, but, I mean, I don't.
All white people look the same with purple hair, orange hair.
We don't have. I mean, I don't expect anything, but at the same time, then Tracy being, and this is blackout Tracy now.
Yeah.
Leans over and goes, I got a picture for a dog. And did a selfie after we had just taken a picture. So it was pretty funny. Yeah, it was fun. I forgot that I'd actually been to that Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. It's on the High Street in Phoenix.
Oh, I don't think I've been.
You haven't.
I haven't been to Phoenix since the podcast thing. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go back.
We walked in and there was a guy, a comic, Booker, that was there from All Things Comedy. He also does comedy. His name's John, and that's the guy that we were hanging out with that whole weekend. Yeah,
if that ever makes it into a book, that's going to be like, yeah. All right, this is all hearsay. This is what I remember of that.
Allegedly.
That whole weekend. Yeah, it was fun.
You don't need to. Go ahead, Charlie.
I just want to.
Sorry, I keep forgetting you're sharing a mic.
Well, I haven't seen Tracy in a blackout condition, but like what I like to do when someone's blacked out is, why didn't you tell her she actually had a hamburger?
Because I had her taking pictures of me eating a hamburger.
Sorry, I don't know. Like
that wouldn't devastate her. I should have told her that you came over and gave her frog spit and make her look for the wound.
I think it seems like break time because and the next segment I am banned from not only Caesar's Palace but all the casinos that they own, which is a striking list. It's a remarkable amount of properties. I will get to
not only what they own, but what they're going to own in
the future. Yeah,
in the future, you can't.
It's like being banned from Scientology for 1 billion years. All right, cocktails.
Support for the Doug Stanhope podcast comes from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Manscaped. I'm about to manscape right now, Chad, because I have to be on film in a minute. I'm going to manscape my face, and this is the problem, because we get the Manscaped unit in, and as anyone who listens to the podcast for the last 6 weeks, I'm surrounded by chicks, and anytime you have something that vibrates in a house full of chicks, maybe someone used this for nefarious purposes, but I'm willing to still put it on my face. Manscaped, it's not just for your goddamn balls. You can use it on your face. That's not in the ad copy. That is not in the bullet points. You can use this on your face. But it does work on your balls and groin and... Like, I'm Andy Andresting lately because Andy shaves all of his hair. Like
a swimmer.
I haven't done the arms. I did that last time. Now my arm hairs. But yeah, I got the legs. I got the chest.
Is this for your cycling that you're into?
No, I'm trying to shave a few megaseconds off of my time.
I know you hang out at the coffee place where they're all really into
Le Buzz on Tanque Verde. No, it's for fucking sun, and I'm old and I get fucking weird wiry gray chest hair like Floyd the Antique Guy in Bisbee. Yeah, just shave that shit down. I shave my armpits. I get a certain lady to shave her armpits, and I can't mention her name. She manscaped because she had a man's armpits. She had a fucking woolly mammoth under her fucking arms, and she doesn't want that picture to go out. Honestly, I stay away from my balls because my balls no one wants to see. But if you have balls and you want to have someone judge them, yeah, manscape the motherfuckers.
Well, it's also, aside from just the appearance, it's a lot cooler if you get the fur off of them during the summer, I think, as well.
But I have balls differently. I'm not gonna. Maybe my balls need sideburns. I'll just do the back and front. Taint to cock, but it's a little fur on the inside.
Gives you a mullet? What?
It's a reverse mullet. An anti-Mr. T.
So it's business in the back and party up front?
I know my listeners. You will manscape just to send us pictures of the of the things you could shave into your chests and or backs. I know the simians that follow us. You Neanderthals. Yes, Manscaped. Get it and carve DougStanhope.com into your thick troglodyte man hair on your back, your head, soles of your feet, where you have thick hair. Listen, it says the crop preserver, which they sent me, and I didn't know exactly what that was.
They sent you like I call it a DOP kit. It's a very nice one, and it was full of stuff. Not least of which was the trimmer, which is what their number one thing is. But they sent the crop preserver, which is the anti-chafing ball.
That's what I was going to say. It was kind of sexist. It says in the read, it says you put a deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? Can you imagine if this was Ladyscape and you said the same fucking thing? Come on. How... Well, you think my asshole is not smellier than my balls? I mean, we'll let that go. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Stanhope at manscapedpasttense.com. Manscaped, like you already done it, but you're about to do it, and eventually your lie will be true. Your balls will thank you. Always use the right tool for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Stanhope at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code Stanhope. This is one of those times where, the funniest shit happened off the podcast, but it's not funny to the listener anyway, because they don't know. But Chaille leaves town for 2 days, and everything falls apart. And this is why Chaille is the most important fucking link in this belt of...
That's not even an exaggeration that everything fell apart. And you guys were describing so many fucked up things that I had to ask Chaille how long he had been gone.
Chaille leaves town for 2 days, and our two top people on construction projects left town and didn't tell Chaille. We had to hear it from Chuck the intern. What a bastard way to find out.
Well, perhaps they thought that, I was in a position of seniority, or...
Perhaps you led them to believe that, because...
I'll tell you exactly why. They don't want to tell me, so they tell Chuck, and then fucking leave. And then they go, well, we told Chuck, so what? Well, they have my fucking phone number.
Well, Chuck likes to personify a person in power. Now, this started with the car buying shit, where Chuck says, I'm going to help you out buying this car and get a deal. And then Chuck turns into wheeler dealer Chuck, but he's a fucking prick about it. You know how I go in soft. I don't need to test drive it. I just want to get the fuck out of here as quickly as possible. And wheeler dealer Chuck, wait. I want to see what is the paperwork? The Reinhold fucking Mannheim.
This is called the Mannheim. And what I did is, when I knew that Doug was buying 2 cars, I showed up a half hour early from our meeting point just to meet.
Half hour early before they even opened, just to steal his reserves.
I knew I'd find that. I wanted to see someone's frown turn upside, or turn it into a frown. And I go, I'm a friend of Doug's, and if you could just print out the Mannheim, which what that is it's the auction value of the same exact car that's been sold, and it's something that dealers only have access to. So if you know a dealership, this is what they do, is because they sell all your cars to auction. So I said, yeah, just throw that up for us real quick, so when Doug gets here, we can take a look at it. And I saw him I saw the Charlie Brown dirt bubble just fly over his head, and then Doug showed up and go on.
Well, Charlie, wait, where's those Mannheim reports? I know what I'm doing here. I'm hip to your game. You're coming on so fucking aggressive right now. But look, he gets the thing from this weary bastard, Leo Lopez.
Hasn't sold a car in 2 months. He's finally about to finally about to make some money.
At once.
That's what I said. He's finally about to make some money, and here's Charlie kicking all his fucking profits under the couch.
No, the night before, he took his wife out to happy hour like his friends. He picked up the tab, and I ruined that for him. And then
that was not Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez was the sales manager that I thought we sold it to, but then Chuck was talking to this kid afterwards when there was just some small problem, a USB port or something, that he stayed behind, and the kid says somehow that kid got credit for the sale.
No, it was.
I ran into him afterwards when I went back for another reason. He's like, "Oh my God, you made my whole month," and 2 cars at once, and no one's ever done that.
Yeah, no. He was taking, his gratitude went to like a different level to where he was kind of cocky now. He was like, I'm the only guy in this dealership that's ever sold 2 cars in 1 month because someone called into your dealership.
Well, that's because, of all the cars I've bought from Sierra Vista and here in Tucson, I've never seen the same person once, except the manager, perhaps. But the salespeople are, I'm the only guy that's ever... Well, you're the only guy that's been here for more than 3 weeks.
It's a top-heavy industry. It's like insurance, to where all the executives make all the money, and the people at the bottom that do all this struggle to go get your blood tests and all this, they make shit. They struggle. They work 18-hour days to make $80K a year. Yeah. Right? And
blood tests? What kind of fucking cars did you buy?
It's the finance game. It's like get to the top of the pyramid and you don't work at all, right? So it's understanding that, and it's the same thing with car dealerships. Is you get to be the general manager. The general manager of a car dealership is making $1 million plus. He's got 2 commas in his check. Okay.
Yeah.
And the guy down trying to hit quota has to sell 20 piece of shit cars a month.
Yeah, and you went in
to
there
hit his tier 2 bonus so he can make an extra $800.
And is that why you went in there and bullied him relentlessly?
Fuck yes!
But
exactly.
If you just heard what he said, like, he goes into this voice, because he's got another project we're working on that... He recorded himself talking to we have an issue that goes almost a year deep, that he goes, I can fix this, but he puts on that you're a gay receptionist. Okay, I know that, and then you vacillate in and out of it, like you have not. I'll give Chuck credit that he's got knowledge. He knows how to get the number for the CEO. Don't fuck with customer service. We're going straight to the top. Henry Phillips and I did this with Bernie Ebbers and MCI when we got fucked on our first cell phones. Bernie Ebbers is still in prison. But I figured that out. But yeah, Chuck's got strong skills, but his phone game, not so strong. Because
you're completely wrong there, Doug. Because the thing is that
you're completely wrong, Doug.
You want to show vulnerability. You want to let someone think that they have power, right? So if I come off as a fag, no problem. They have power.
It's not about it's the fact that you didn't keep the same tone. You'd come in and out of that voice and then try to drop law knowledge and then come back with, and you guys didn't even respond. You guys
This is what I'm talking to the corporate attorney, but look.
He tried to use this same excuse earlier when I was talking to him, but he does it all on purpose. It's his fallback, because I'm doing that on purpose to make you think that I'm not doing it on purpose. See, you don't know.
Snared. I love giving people rope, and just to think I'm dumb, and then I show you that I'm smarter than you. And sometimes we may fall in, we may forget which character we're playing at the moment.
I wish I could play. There's no way we can play what he recorded, but he did get the right people on the phone, because because we're not dropping that hammer yet. But yeah, I'm taking the next phone call, and you talk too much. I wish I could fucking play this, because when the attorney is trying to talk back to you, you just keep stepping over him. Well, we're going to have to, I'm not cleared to talk with you. I know you're not clear, but Mr. Stanhope, and the guys, let him finish a fucking sentence.
Why? He's an attorney. He's the worst person in the world. I'm like, let him know who has control. And you know who has control? I do, goddammit.
Yeah, and then at the end of the attorney call, okay, so hey, have a nice weekend then, okay? Like he's just sneering at you. It's, Chuck, come on.
Oh,
I'm still waiting for the play smart part to come in.
I have never told another grown man to shut up more times than I've told Chuck to shut the fuck up. Whenever we were at that last podcast, when I first met him, we had to sleep in the same room, and he's talking. He goes, "Hey, I don't snore at night or anything. I don't give a fuck if you snore. Do you shut the fuck up?"
Well, we met his match today. Olivia and I were bracing Valentina for the coming storm of words from Chuck. And Valentina just overrode that with her own barrage. You know how Valentina's voice gets deep, and then everything ends on an up, and then the thing, and then Chuck is like trying to get a word in edgewise. It was like watching a boxing match.
That's mania.
Well, I also have a family with bipolar history. Not saying I've never been diagnosed, but here's the thing.
If you're smarter than the doctor, you can discount it.
Isn't over. We're like round 6. But like to look at it all, like the reason I went and found psychedelic plants back in 2013 and went down to Peru. Now we're not talking about frog poison. Now we're talking about ayahuasca. Is because I didn't have an identity because I'm a million different people. I'm whoever I think I need to be.
From one day to the next?
No.
Can't change.
Can't change. No.
From 10 seconds in a conversation to the next. You just told me that, I'm the strong attorney at one moment, then I'm the gay guy, then I'm the this, then I'm... And it's trying to figure out who am I if I don't have an identity. I'm just whatever I need to be at that moment. But what I realized throughout all of this is that that's my identity. Like, who can be a billion people at once? Me.
That's why I'm taking the next phone call.
And we'll conference you in soon. And, 12 minutes of material, right? That's worth...
Yeah, well... Today... Chuck brings up my mail, and as a registered letter certified from Caesars Entertainment, and it reads, "If you'd be so kind, Mr. Golden Pipes, Chad Shank."
Dear Douglas Stanhope, this letter is to inform you that the management of the entity commonly known as Caesars Entertainment, together with Caesars Entertainment Corporation and all of their affiliates and subsidiaries, collectively referred to hereinafter as Caesars, has determined that you recently engaged in conduct that Caesars views as inappropriate. As a result, your presence is no longer desired upon the premises of any Caesars property, and you are no longer welcome at any Caesars property.
What properties do those include, Mr. Shank?
To be clear, your exclusion from Caesars applies to all properties operated under the following brand names: Bally's, except Bally's Tunica; Bluegrass Downs, Caesars, the Cromwell, Flamingo, Harrah's, Harvey's, Horseshoe, Hotspot Oasis, Paris, Las Vegas, Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino, Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino, The Link Hotel and Casino, Thistle Down Racino, and Tunica Roadhouse, and all other properties that are currently or in the future owned, operated, or managed by Caesars Entertainment Corporation or its subsidiaries or affiliates. Holy shit, I need a breath. Please be advised that if you are found at any of the aforementioned properties, management will not hesitate to take any and all steps necessary to effectuate your removal from the property, as well as pursuing all other legal rights and remedies it has under law. Further, should your presence at any Caesars property go undetected in the future, any money you win through gaming, including jackpots, may be forfeited. except in Nevada or any other state where this is prohibited by law.
We've tried this before and failed. Full disclosure.
In addition, your membership...
That's all right. That's enough.
Okay, good. It's boring.
So, tell Hennigan. What's... Yeah, Harvey's Tahoe. Yeah, I can't go back there where I fucking ate shit and lost a shitload of money. I lost so much money in Harrah's that they gave me like the concierge, please come back. They're probably leaning on Howie Nave to book me back because they make so much money on top of what I lost with their pay. So yeah, Hennigan goes, "Oh, this must be the Rio Hotel." Because what the fuck is that? I don't stay at Caesars. Oh, when I saw Rio, yeah, Hennigan's right. Yeah, that 1-star review that I rubbed in their fucking face. Really? Because I'm going to be on every fucking thing, TripAdvisor, Expedia, Yelp, shitting all over your casino. Oh, well, I guess that must have caught up with me. Because, 2 of those 3 1-star reviews, Expedia dumped mine, and I think it's because I mentioned the rates, and that's against their terms of service. But, yeah. So, yeah, evidently, if you leave a bad review, I know people have gotten sued for leaving bad reviews.
I read your review that you posted, and maybe if you leave horrible reviews that are accurate and measurable and can prove that you're telling the truth, that's the ones they probably get mad at.
Oh, and that someone who gets that review spread around and also calls the fucking front desk and the general manager repeatedly, like, you're not going to make this right? Fuck you. I'm going to shit all over your goddamn casino.
But what is that letter really? All this really is a no trespassing sign, right? And that's a misdemeanor in every state and every county that I'm aware of. So, I mean...
Well, this happened to you, Charlie. This is where we rope you back into this. Because you told me this story, and I know there's fucking problems in it.
There's not problems in it. So I'm an MGM. So like the way that there's 4 banks to choose from now. There's 2 casinos to choose from now, and there's outsiders. But there's either Caesars Management or there's MGM. And I chose MGM years ago. And I had I've been a degenerate gambler for the majority of my life.
It's one of his billion personalities.
Yeah.
Olivia Grace is the Floyd Mayweather of this podcast. Doesn't punch a lot, but makes it count what she does.
Well, these are all factual statements. And the thing is that I always stayed at the same property because they knew me. They knew what I would do. They knew the energy I'd bring to each room, the game floor, whatever. And one time I was living in Seattle, this is a couple years back, and I decided to stay, not home field. Home field is the Luxor. I decided to stay at the MGM. They had a pool. There was a pool scene. I was single. It was, something would happen. Either way. So they put me up in a suite, platinum member of the MGM. And I get hot. Craps table. We're rolling about 40 minutes deep, and all of a sudden they bring over a cooler telling me to just pipe down.
Hang on, let's go back because you told me, you hinted at it, but tell us more about how you bring up the energy at the table. Because you told me this story a few times where he wasn't getting to the point of why they had security throw him out and then what will follow. He acted like they thought he was winning too much, and that's why I threw him out. And now it bled into, he's raising the energy of the table. And I think this might be what the problem was.
Is that code for being an asshole?
You're saying it's more likely he was rambunctious than doing well at something.
We've all played improvs. We've all seen the Todd Glass precursor film at the Improv that they used to have. Hey, and listen, turn off your cell phones and do this. And you know what? No one ever got thrown out of a comedy club for laughing too much. It was very funny if you're a comic. There's people, I was laughing so hard and they threw me out. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? So I think you were laughing too hard at the craps table.
Correct. the thing is that to bring the collective energy of a craps table, this is my game. This is the only game that I play.
And in his new self-help book, How to Bring Everyone Together at a Craps Table.
It's to bring the collective energy. So how I would start is by just a noise.
And then you focus it and he puts it all into his crystals.
I have a shrill that will carry over a casino gaming floor that you're about to hear in 1 second. Woo! Like this hits certain, yes, but it's better than Ric Flair because it hits a certain.
Wait a minute, why is it better? Oh, dude, I've never seen an ego more out of control than yours. Olivia and I have still been wondering if this whole group hates us. Olivia thought people were going to kill her secretly. You just fucking kick the door open, never once considering that the rope you're talking about is around your own neck.
That should be the name of my book.
I don't know how many listeners are going to isolate that shriek and use it as a ringtone to try to corral people around them and raise the energy at their table.
But it starts with that, and then it starts with the chant, right? Once when they see it, and I'll just be like,
Send her back.
yeah, no.
Send her back, says Tracy.
But it starts with the chant, but eventually I'll get the collective in it, and I will roll. No,
Where's security? Where's
somewhere
security?
that has seen me roll for this a long period of time. So when you start rolling dice for an extended period of time, you get over 20 minutes. Over 8 minutes, everyone's broke even. Once you start getting in the 20, 30-minute realm, they start getting scared because I took my $400 that I started with, and I'm up at like $5,000. Everyone else has started with 100. They're up at $2,000. So they brought over a cooler. They brought over someone to tell me to pipe down. This is 45 minutes into the adventure, right? I've been doing this.
I was the guy that said, hey, tell that guy to shut the fuck up. I'm trying to play roulette. I'm trying to find angles and patterns, and there's some cunt that keeps going, "Wow! Can we do something about this guy?"
That just happened when we were at the Luxor, when Chad and I and
on the horse derby.
Joey, we were playing the horses around the little electric horses, and Doug could hear us across the casino. And the only reason we probably didn't get in trouble is because you knew that it was us. You didn't want to get us in trouble, but
Sigma Derby, that's the name of that.
You were so irritated, and we were just jumping up and down with our quarter.
Well, everybody in Vegas is losing, especially at Caesars and all the following properties: Harrah's, Horseshoe, Harvey's, Hang Low, Hing Wong, Ding Dong. Fuck yeah, all of them. You're losing. So to hear some... I mean, it's one thing to hear an old lady, ding, 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 ding. Oh, I won. And they won like $100 and they're crying. But yeah, to hear some asshole in the fucking middle of the night, boo! Bango! Ha-cha-cha!
Well, look, this would be 2 a.m. and the Luxor's gone through a lot of things, right? So this was, their craps tables are right next to what used to be Raw. I don't know what club it is now. But at 3 a.m, there would be 400 people packed around this table because I was continuing to roll, and
they were in line to kill you, like in the movie Airplane.
Perhaps I'm still here. So, but to link it back though, I'm doing the same type of behavior at the MGM. It's 10 a.m. on a Sunday. I've been up all night. No one's really having that at this moment. So they bring over a security guard. He tells me to, and I was like, beat it, cooler. And he asked for my ID. And I said, let me see your ID. And then next thing you know, a plainclothes guy comes over in his suit. And he does he's wearing a suit.
Oh,
he looks like he's like, but it's fucking 10 a.m. on a Sunday. No one's dressed that nice.
He didn't have ATF on the back of his shirt, so Charlie called him a pussy.
Essentially, I did. And then I was like, oh, you're going to start with, presents. And I was like, dude, that's day one with your posture, bro. I've been through those courses. Like,
Charlie's been through everything.
Angle on me.
God.
And so, but I felt that he threatened me, so I decided to call the police because I was threatened. And so I called the police, and I said, I feel very threatened. I don't feel safe at this place at this moment. And so they're like, "Is this an emergency?"
Joe Pesci is throwing me out of here.
Is this an emergency? And I had
Casino reference. Go ahead. No.
Yeah, so
I'm listening.
I explained that it wasn't an emergency, but I felt threatened if they could send an officer to escort me, back to my room. So they're trying to throw me off the property, and I'm like, no, I'm not leaving until they didn't know that they had come to my suite a couple floors up. So the cop shows up, and the security guard, he's not even a guard, he's plainclothes. He shows up and he pulls me off to the side. He goes, do you understand that 50 fucking people just were murdered here in Vegas like 3 weeks ago, and you're calling about this bullshit? He knew what I was doing, and he called me out, and
he did this in the wake of 9/11, so to speak.
Well, the Vegas is 9/11.
702-911
across the street from the MGM, or Mandalay. So fucking cop fucking just chastises me, and then he goes, "You go sort this out." So the dude's like, "All right, you're leaving the property." And I go, "Well, I want to get my things first." And every single time they give me 4 days, but I'm only going for 2.
Wait. Oh, I thought you meant every single time they give you 4 days to get your shit off the property. Like you've been thrown out that many times. Protocol is 4 days to get my shit out. Woo-hoo!
That's a lesson I'll learn later.
I'm doing this for 3 more days. Woo-hoo!
Now I'm playing on levels you don't even understand, man.
But technically, I was staying there until Tuesday, but I only had a weekend bender from Seattle, but I would always book 4 days, so you don't have to deal with checkout bullshit or anything, because it's free. So anyway, he's kind of disgusted when he realizes he has to take me up to the suite at his own property to get my things. I gather my things, my
slow pack
picture and autograph.
Your Pete Rose.
Sorry, never mind.
Was that part of your act?
Not act, no, but that was...
No, I'm saying, did you over-prepare for this podcast where you thought the Pete Rose thing would kill and I stepped on your dick?
No, I'm just actually going back to the room where everything's scattered. I didn't know I was going to be thrown out. And all I was like, I just want my Pete Rose picture and autograph.
So what you do that's your lucky charm is a guy who cheated gambling at baseball?
To fucking sign something for me. I should have just asked him at the MGM.
He bet $240 you wouldn't. This guy, he's got no money.
So I packed my things, walked across the street to the Tropicana, tried to gamble, and then I passed out. My flight was at 10 p.m. that day, and then took a cab to McCarran. But it wasn't until a few years later, I hadn't gone back. I continued to get these offers because I'm still on this like degenerate gambler level.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I booked a free hotel, free everything with a free entry into a slot tournament that would cost money, and all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I'm going to Vegas. This might have never happened if I went, because this would have been in March. I would have been poor. I wasn't coming out here with any money because I know I'd have lost. And fucking all of a sudden they call back and they go, "You're banned from all MGM properties." I go, well, you never notified me. And they're like, "Well, sir, you disputed every charge that you had," which I won, by the way. Always all this shit I signed to my room. I said that wasn't me. Fuck the MGM. Wait, maybe not. I don't know. College, whatever. We'll figure it out.
The only time I lost a dispute with American Express was against Amtrak, and that's just because I was too tired to fight.
No.
But Chuck he's got a lot of free time.
That I do, and it just, the final thing on this story, and I'm sorry that it was so long-winded, is that I said, well, look, we both know that I'm a good customer, and you're a good client, and I'll never stay away from home field again. I'm not going to play it in an away stadium. We play it at Luxor. I've seen all those pit bosses of Luxor, any Luxor people. You know exactly who I am. Go rewind the podcast. Hear that woo. You know who I am. You know who I am. You work from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Yeah, you know who I am. But I had to write a handwritten letter to the head of security of the MGM, the actual property, and then they would review my case to let me stay again. But someone told me that if I just don't try and get a free slot tournament out of it, no one's going to say anything.
I think maybe what I'll do with Caesars Entertainment and all their properties worldwide in perpetuity is I'll write a handwritten apology for my Yelp review and my TripAdvisor review in crayon, left-handed. Dear Santa, or current resident. Me said bad words about you, and that hurts everybody. It hurts inside of your stomach. I feel so sad. I wish you could feel sad with me and we could be happy together. Douglas G. Stanhope. Misspelled. Yeah. At Caesars ENT for my fucking audience. Caesars is Caesars. Not that I didn't get it wrong a lot of times, but since I've tweeted this, a lot of you are chiming in, trying to, spell Caesars right. Make sure you get the right Caesars ENT or the fucking Rio. That fucking place is just devastated. It was awful. Fuck them. I think we have a podcast right there. We appreciate all of you Patreon players. That makes it means a lot every time someone signs up. I don't give a fuck if it's $1 a month. It means a lot to us because we don't have to gum this up any more than we gum it up ourselves. Olivia Grace, Ggreg Chaille, Chuck the Intern, Chad Shank, and here's to Uncle Rodney. Randy, God damn it.
I was gonna follow along and chose to Uncle Rodney, and you guys fucked it up.
I was reading your face. I fucked it up twice when we were out smoking at the break.
Damn
and
it.
All right, Randy.
Uncle Randy.
Uncle Randy, cocktails.
Cocktails.
You're here with
Thank you guys for listening. Dude, let's we're gonna go. Let's go now. I'll do this read. Plug it in.
Oh shit! What the fuck is this?
This podcast is also brought to you by the Lincoln Center's Mostly Mozart Festival. That runs July 10th through August 10th of 2019. This is the U.S. premiere, Chad.
The U.S. premiere of the Yang Lipping Contemporary Dance Under Siege.
Under Siege. That's right. It's based on historical events that formed. Wow, geez, the lights went out. I can't even fucking read that. Can you read that? Focus on the backdrop of the Oscar-nominated film.
Farewell, My Concubine. Celebrated
Everyone's
choreographer Yang Lipping's dance theater work explores war and power, betrayal and passion with searing poignancy.
It sounds like you're reading the newspaper.
My favorite part of this.
I have to introduce it still.
My favorite part of this is it runs Thursday through Saturday at 8 to 10 and 7:30 p.m., which those are great times. I love these times for Yang Lipping.
Yang Lipping always has the best time.
Tickets from $35, which is really, that's bargain basement. So go to mostly-mozartfestival.org, and they're sponsored by the New York Presbyterian, and that's great. I think all of this is great. All right.
That was the most horrible topic for a fake commercial ever. There's absolutely nothing to riff on. I don't know what the fuck that is still.
But you just did. All right, moving on.